Good evening. Please stand for the national anthem. Can we all sing? Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. I will now invite Senior Superintendent Mr. Benjamin to say the opening prayer. Amen. You may all be seated. Pleasant evening. I am number 16228, Woman Acting Sergeant Catterson, the 2nd Division Officer in charge of the Roxborough Police Station. Just a reminder, please be advised that all COVID-19 protocols are to be adhered to. A hearty welcome to members of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Dr. Faith B. Israel, Secretary of the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Executive, Senior Superintendent Junior Benjamin, Superintendent Rudil Kirk, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mark Joseph. And to all stakeholders present, media personnel and officers of the Roxborough Police Station and all other 2nd Division officers. Welcome to Roxborough's first stakeholders meeting. I hope everyone upon completion of this meeting participate as members of the Roxborough Station Council, scheduled for every last Tuesday of each month. Looking forward for your future collaboration and community partnership. I now hand you over to the Honorable Dr. Faith Israel, who may say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Allow me to recognize the members of the head table and those in the audience who are here to be a part of this discussion. The aim here, as far as I understand, is to have the kind of dialogue between communities and police that would allow for everyone to be in a more comfortable space. In my mind, we should get to the point where our police officers should be walking around looking for things to do because there is no crime to fight. And I think having this kind of interaction, having this kind of honest interaction is one that would get us to that point. So I welcome it, I appreciate it. I hope that the dialogue that happens here this evening is truly honest. The dialogue that happens here leads to actual actions happening within the community and having that kind of partnership that is necessary to ensure that we get to that level of comfort within the Tobago space. Thanks for the invitation, and I appreciate being a part of this evening's proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Tobago Update, Tobago Media Advisory Services Solution. I now hand you over to members of the executive.
At this time, I will ask the Assistant Superintendent, Area West, to just say a few words at this time.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. As was said before, my name is Mark Joseph. I am the Assistant Superintendent, Area West, meaning Scarborough, Sherburne Road, and the Crown Point districts. For some time ago, I was in fact the area officer here, Area East, some time ago. I must say it's an honor and a privilege to be here to share the entire table here, the members here, my senior superintendent on my right, Superintendent Kirk. We are here to listen to your concerns and to exchange ideas, discuss. It's a partnership, and we look forward to active participation. We hope that as time progresses, the crowd will get larger. Okay, so as we go along, feel free to ask your questions, and we will answer them as best as we can. Thank you.
At this time, I will invite Superintendent Kirk, who also has responsibility for Area East, which includes the Roxborough community, to now say a few words at this time.
Good evening to one and all. I want to take this opportunity to recognize the Honorable Dr. Faith Israel, my senior superintendent, Mr. Benjamin, Mr. Joseph, and I do recognize in the audience, way to the back, our inspector in charge of crime for the entire island of Tobago, Miss Pigott, hiding far in the back. I also want to recognize Inspector Guy, who is the second division officer with responsibility for supervising the eastern area. Right, and other officers present. My name is Rodil Kirk, Superintendent of Police acting for Tobago Division. And as the Senior Superintendent mentioned, I have the responsibility for general supervision of the East. It is always a pleasure for me to to have that level of interaction with members of the Roxborough community. I'm no stranger to Roxborough and environs. In the early part of my service, I actually worked in this area before. This stakeholder meeting is about, what to say, it's about meeting with the community to address the community concerns in some instance, and so that we could come up with ways and means to deliver better service to you, the community members, well, persons who it is our responsibility to serve and protect. I always, in every gathering of this nature, I always take a page from Robert Peel's story, is that the people are the police are the people, right? So you are the ones that we often rely on in order for us to succeed. So in going forward for the rest of the night and from here forward for the rest of the year, it is our intention to partner with you, have that level of dialogue so that you could feel free to interact with us. Let us hear your concerns. Let us know what we can do better. And if we're not doing good, let us know that as well so that we can know what we need to improve on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Cook. Ladies and gentlemen, let me again recognize the Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith B. as well. And again, all my First Division officers, Second Division officers that are in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege as the Senior Superintendent of Police, given the responsibility here for the last 9 months or so. I started my journey here in Tobago on the 21st of June, 2021. And I must say, the experience has been really a very enlightening one. Having been born in Tobago and have been in Trinidad for probably 32 years, returning home was a way of giving back to this wonderful island of Tobago. And I'm really glad because I have grown to really appreciate the hard work of the police. And the reason that we have this meeting today is because of a theme that we are demonstrating for the year 2022. And it simply says, back to the community. In order to fight crime, I think that we have done a good job in terms of 2021. Again, the statistics will prove and will show that in terms of divisions, the Tobago division probably was second in its delivery of service in terms, if you have to compare it statistically. We had a -3 decrease in SRCs in 2021. We moved that in itself, that was compared to 2020, that was just, second lowest in most of the divisions. And also we saw 52% detection rate, and that in itself was again the second highest detection rate in all the divisions. We have about 10 divisions right now in the police service, and I think Tobago to rank at 2 is really a tremendous accomplishment. So as we go into 2022, we wanted to add coming into the community and really building that relationship with the community. And therefore, we have mandated each of our station districts and our stations in particular to ensure that there is a station council. The purpose of the station council is a way in which the police now becomes accountable to the people. And therefore, we must start there where persons must know what is happening. Like tonight, it's a process. The purpose here, we're starting off with information sharing. We are going to give you some information so that you know that the police service in Tobago is not just sitting down doing nothing. We are actively participating in making Tobago one of the safest communities and safest islands in the whole world. And a lot of times, people do not know the hard work of the police. So we are hoping to share that information with you. At the same time, we are hoping that you will share information with us, that we can even work on the type of work that we are doing to ensure that we are giving the type of service that is needed for at least the Roxborough community and environs. We are also hoping, after we have shared that information, that it will lead to problem identification. We will identify some of the problems and concerns that we have, and we hope that you will also identify those problems and concerns, so that after we identify them, each of us are going to work on those problems so that we have a much better society, a much better organization, a much better synergy between us, so that we can ensure that, you know, the community and the police, we work hand in hand. And at the end of the day, we are going to reinforce that problem-solving mechanism to ensure that we build a level of trust, and the more trust we build between each other will lead to more information sharing, and it goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you some critical statistics that you need to know. And this is coming out of the Kappa branch, dated February 19th, from the 1st of January to the 19th of February. We can boast at this stage, compared to last year, we have a -6% decrease in our serious crimes in Tobago. Last year we had -3. We are saying we are now -6. And to you that might not be anything, but I really think that that is a big thing, because I'll tell you, last year we had at least, you know, the state of emergency, which would cause people to be locked up at a certain, you have to lock off. Now people are around 24/7, and yet we are able to bring that down to -6%. I think that for the police service, I mean, when you beat us, but when we're doing something good, I think you should give us a little round of applause. Even though just to make us feel good. But I'm saying that's the hard work that has caused that. I'm going further to tell you, we have started off the year, and our aim is to reach the 57% detection rate. But we have, at least at this point in time, we have a 47% detection rate. And we are now starting the year. At 47, we are starting at least one of the highest in the bar in terms of detection rate thus far. We are saying it is clear. When we look at our murders, we probably have 200% more murders than we had last year. Meaning that we had 2 murders, and by this time last year we had 0. But it means that we are 200% more. But I can tell you, we have a 100% record in solving of murders, meaning that the 2 murders were solved. And I'm saying that has to be a very good thing. It means that the officers of the Tobago Division, they are working. We are working. And therefore, I want to just assure you, even as we look at the Roxborough community, what we recognize, Roxborough thus far for 2022 have seen an increase. And we're not here to just tell you nice things. We want to tell you the truth. We have seen an increase, at least in 2 of our station districts. One would be the Moriah district, and one the Roxborough district. What we've seen in the Roxborough district is that there is probably there were 5 more offenses that took place in the Roxborough district than compared to last year. However, what we are seeing coming out of the Roxborough district is the level of dedication and commitment to solving the crime, because we had 6 sexual offenses and all 6 were solved, or at least all 6 we had persons at least charged for. And therefore, we are seeing definitely an increase in terms of the detection rate here in the Roxborough community, and it speaks well to the officers. The areas that we are seeing, and we are saying we want you to help us, again, we are seeing an increase in terms of sexual offenses, and you're going to hear more about those things. We are seeing where there's breaking offenses, all right, and we are saying that we're going to talk more about those things because some of these situations we believe could be easily solved by having these stakeholders meetings. And therefore, we want these meetings to be one where we are sharing information and that you can share with us, and together we can really find a way to solve some of these soft crimes. We need to make ourselves some what we call hard targets. I want to close by simply just making this final appeal. We would like to see, the community playing a more active part in working with the police, especially in 2022. And therefore, there are some things that you will be hearing and you will be seeing taking place with the police. We want to bring in the whole idea of there's something called a SEPTED program, which really it talks about crime prevention through environmental design. And therefore, what we're going to see is that police officers are going to find themselves involved in village council meetings and different places, dealing and making inputs as to whenever, you have places where they need lights and so on, so that anything to deal with crime, we are going to help make the area a much better area. And these SEPTED programs are going to find police officers really engaging and causing persons to learn how to strengthen their territory so that the people can have greater control of your own territory. It is not just the police to fight crime. All of us must fight crime, and we must fight crime together, so at the end of the day, we recognize that crime is everybody's business. With these few words, I want to say thank you all so very much, and we look forward for a wonderful meeting here tonight. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Senior Superintendent Benjamin, and the panel of the executives. I now invite Corporal Macmillan, the 2nd Division Officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department at the Roxborough Police Station, to the mic.
Pleasant good night to all. All protocols observed. I am number 17840, Tin Corporal Macmillan. Right. I am tasked with the responsibility of investigations of serious crimes within the Roxborough District. The Roxborough District spans from the outer end of Goodwood straight up to the Windward Road to the Wassa Point in Speyside and across to the north to Bloody Bay Junction. So as we may see, it is a very large district by landmass. However, in 2021, the Roxborough Police Station recorded 86 serious reported crimes. And from those crimes that were reported, 54% of those crimes were solved. I'll take a little clap for that. Yeah. All right, 2022, as my senior superintendent indicated, we saw an increase for the month and 3 weeks that have since elapsed, with 9 crimes, and from the 9 crimes, 6 were solved with an average of 66%, which I also think deserves a round of applause again. Within the Roxborough District, we have challenges with crimes that are against the Larceny Act. Most of our sore points are larceny offenses. And with that, I'd like to implore on the members of the community, let us not make ourselves soft targets, securing our equipment. Most times report larceny, brush cutters, pumps, generator, things that can be secured. I think that we should take a greater deal in securing our items. Right? Notwithstanding that, we, the officers at the Roxville Police Station, are willing to work with the community to increase the solve rate. Right? And with that, that will be my contribution for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Corporal Macmillan. I now invite Special Victims Department, which comprises of the Sexual Offences Unit, Gender-Based Unit, and Child Protection Unit, to the mic.
Good evening, everyone. Let me recognize in our midst Assemblyman Dr. Faith B. Israel. Dr. Faith B. Israel, my senior officers at the head table, and welcome to our stakeholders. I am number 16423 WPC Smith Toppin. I'm accompanied tonight by my colleague, number 17895 WPC James. And we perform duties at what you call the Special Victims Unit. And when you hear the term Special Victims Unit, you may ask, what is that? That comprises of the Gender-Based Violence Unit, Sexual Offences Unit, and the Child Protection Unit. The Gender-Based Violence Unit, that unit is based at the Roxborough Police Station. You can reach us at 639-1812. There we basically deal with reports that involves persons that are intimately involved. That is husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. We also have based there at the Roxborough Police Station the Sexual Offences Unit. They would deal with reports more of a sexual nature, which involves adults. And the report could be persons of the same sex or of the opposite sex. They also deal with reports involving bestiality, etc. The Child Protection Unit, they are based at the Sherburne Road Police Station, and they basically deal with reports involving children. Well, sexual offenses involving children, also any abuse involving children. The Child Protection Unit, they can be contacted at 639-8246. Notwithstanding, giving you those numbers for the units, bear in mind that those reports can be made at any station throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And the reports would be dispatched to the various units for further investigations. If you see something, say something. And that's my contribution.
Thank you, Special Victims Department. I now invite you, the members of the public, to state your concerns. And rest assured that all your concerns will be documented and addressed timely. Anyone with concerns can go to the mic.
Good night to everyone. All protocol observed. Now, I was hearing that the dictation rate for crime. Well, me is so lucky because they break my shop about 2 times, and every time I report breaking, since I doing business, they start cheating with it, and then the next thing the police go move, and my thing gone out of the window. So that don't really bother me much, because it ain't working for me. One other thing that I want to say tonight, we work together, we play together. Now, in the past, we used to have a police cricket team, netball, football, everything. They stopped playing with us. They want to lock us up. They're not playing with us anymore. So this is one of the key things. If we had to get a successful combination with the police and us, we had to be playing and liming together. And sometimes you give them a little tip, and they go say, Archie, tell me that. Say, no, we're afraid. Because real people are gone. And if them go say, Archie, tell me, you give them a little information, something going, they're saying, Archie, say that. So we have to be very careful. So we need to work together, play together as we used to do long time. And even cook and lime together. Long time I used to cook and call we and give a little lime by the station. That one the big, yeah, real place up there. We could cook and go upstairs and lime. All right, that is my contribution.
Sir, excuse one moment. Could you just state your name?
My name is Archie or Ellis Innocent Clark.
Okay, sir.
The man in charge of Roxborough, the mayor.
Okay, sir, noted. I'm happy to see you speak about that sort of alliance with the police in terms of the sports. I mean, and this is one of the avenues for this, that in going forward, these are things that could be revisited, you know, in terms of interacting with the community. Now, a lot has changed over the years in terms of police and the people and the community. And this is why I applaud the initiative taken by the Roxborough station to meet with the community so that all these things could be addressed, so in going forward in the future, so that we could come to that level. You have a good suggestion, and I know you are well known in the community. And you feel free. You could come and see the inspector, the sergeant, or anybody at any time, or even us at the head table here, so that we could, as I say, revisit these things that you are talking about, so we see how we could actually build that alliance with the community. Because this is why we are here. It's about partnering with the community to address community concerns, whether it be social ills or crime. Now, you made mention that your shop was broken into and the officers gone and so on and so on. I think because of the plans that has been implemented by our esteemed senior super on my left, where officers are now being held accountable in terms of how they are mandated to even give the persons who are victims of crime that level of feedback. Now, not every problem we might be able to solve, but at the same time, we must show that level of empathy towards the victims of crime, give them that feedback, let them know what is taking place with their investigations, etc. So this is something that, what you spoke about there is something that happened, and we do apologize for that, but we are looking at, we had a paradigm shift, and in going forward in the future, that level of interaction will be improved, so you would know what's taking place with your investigation. Okay, sir? Okay, sir.
Just allow me 1 second just to add to that. One of the areas that we really want to work on is the whole idea of customer service. You come to the station, and sometimes, let's be real, I've heard it before, person are saying, the way the police talk to you, You understand? It's like if they're talking down to you and so. We want to change that. We are ensuring that starting I think next week, our officers, we have one person from every station that will be doing customer service calls. And we want that to be a general thing across the board, where persons are going to be treated and at least trained in customer service. And we are also saying that we have already mandated, as was said before, our station commanders, that within 3 weeks or so, you must call every victim of the crime and let them know what is happening. Because a lot of time, people just want to know that they are heard and that people did not just forget them. So we are working on that, and therefore we want to thank you for bringing it up, but we are working on that to ensure that the quality of service is of one that the customers could be more satisfied. So thank you so very much for sharing. All right? Again, it's open. Anybody?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alston McIntosh from Belgarden, Bottomridge, Tobago. I was sent here tonight. I didn't know about this meeting, but I've been going through a little problem with the same thing as Archie say. By the station, they just push your matter under the table, etc., etc. On the 21st of July last year, I had an altercation with a neighbor of mine, which the altercation turned out violent. I was the victim. I get knocked unconscious. Yeah, my teeth, them knock out. Well, I can't say thank God for COVID, but due to COVID, I could able to hide my no teeth with a mask. I and my two sons, well, I didn't even, when this scene happened, I didn't even know how I reached home, because like I gave up stupid. I didn't even catch myself properly. It's a whole team of police was home by me. I get locked up with my two sons, bleeding from my mouth and my nose, because the perpetrator who did the damages to me had police friends. Right? They came. I know usually an incident like that take place, they go come and they go ask question, investigate the scene properly. None of that never take place. He just come, oh, Choco, you're going Roxborough, man, you're going Roxborough, man. Check me with a gun and a taser. I had to humble myself, you know, because I was still kind of cloudy, you know. I trying to talk to the man don't want to hear nothing. He threw handcuffs on my hand, just hold me the dirty skin in my old pants with my jersey on my shoulder, and hold me between my pants with my clothes on my leg. Little boy, he could have been daddy. And he do me that. Lock me up in the station for no reason at all. It's when the shift changed, an officer who I guess was running the station, his name is Mr. Campbell, I explained the scene to him, what happened, and he saw, that time was curfew time, and he called the ambulance for me and my son, because my son got his face bite way by the same man who knocked me down, and I get my teeth knocked out and nosebleed. The ambulance came for me. Me and my son, we went to the hospital. The policeman even allowed me to go in Lamy Road and collect my partner car so I could drive down behind the ambulance so we were able to get transport to come back from the hospital, because we never leave the hospital until after 3 in the morning. Right? My son get a medical denied because he get bite face. His face bite out. I didn't get none. They tell me, they take all my statements and everything, which the police never even go to the hospital to get. But they tell me I had to go to a dentist to get, because my damages is a dentist had to deal with my damages. I spend my money and I went by a dentist opposite Bill Brown. Bring back the paper to them in the station. They said the said man who allowed me to go in the hospital, etc. And all up to this day, nothing take place. He tell me that the dentist who I went by is not a registered dentist with some scene, so the magistrate go care do nothing to that. right?
Well, sir, I don't mean to cut you because I mean in the interest of time. But what I could tell you, you see the same information that you are stating here?
Yeah.
What I need you to do is either after the meeting or during the meeting, I could just allow somebody to take that information from you and we could treat with that incident after.
Yes, I understand that,
Right?
but I don't want the scene to get stuck, you bar.
No, when you say start, well, you see, you're talking, the thing about it, as I say, we're trying to help you as much as we can.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying. No need to vent the whole incident. We understand the gist.
Yeah.
I will let somebody take the information, take your contact number. I personally will contact you to treat with that.
Okay,
Right?
sir.
So it wouldn't really, help for you to, and I understand your situation. I empathize with you. I am happy that the sergeant was able to give you a listen here
Because
and to give you that assistance.
let me say something, I know about trouble. I know about lockup. I know about jail. There are officers here who could tell you that. Plenty of them know me because I live alive. I never kill nobody, I never sell no coke, I never rape nobody, train and them kind of scene. I live alive. And the kind of friends that I have in society, I decide to humble myself. Me, I be real with you. Every day, me see that boy, me just feel me couldn't come back.
Nah.
Because no, we are human.
Yeah.
And we just had our feelings. But me ain't gonna do it. Because me want to give you a testimony tonight. Let me tell you how that evil has come good. Me get locked up home by me with a piece of weed where I didn't know that I couldn't get among two in my house. And I speak the truth.
Yeah.
I do 100 hours community service in police youth club right here. And all up to this day, I'm still in police youth club. I run in the hydrogenic greenhouse over there right now, true to Mr. Collins Hazel.
That is good.
You understand?
That is good.
I used to be the man who used to organize all the craft for police can cook. True Mr. Sterling Roberts. Yeah, officers here will tell you that. So me can't afford to get myself in no trouble.
Right.
That make me really need all of for help me because I tell you that every
and this
time you
is-
see that boy,
this
feel me
is why I'm telling you, going forward, we will give you that assistance.
Thank you very
So
much.
hold on and we'll take the information from you and treat with it. Thank you very much.
Sir, you can speak to the sergeant at the back of the station, at the back of the hall, and give him your information. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any concerns? Questions?
I'd love to say a pleasant night to each and everyone. Dr. Faith, a special. No, my name is Honor Lindo, living at Kendall, Tobago. I'm the owner of Bamboo Patch Sports Bar, Limited, Roxborough. Now, I sit in here and I listen to Mr. Clark. And, we attend a lot of meetings at the Roxborough Police Station, our business people. And then we started that thing and we never really get anywhere. But as a business person, I suffer the same problem at Speyside, Nines when I had Speyside. But one thing I want to put here now is I lost so many drinks. And when I made the report at Charlottesville, they came and they meet the guys with the drinks. And I was rather surprised when the police told me, or not, they asked me in fact, if I have any markings on the drinks. And because of that, we never get nowhere with it. But here I want to say here tonight, I know it's COVID time. I know the COVID restrictions, all right? And the bar, sometimes it doesn't look to me like if the police take inside. So I'm just simply saying, if you're dealing with a particular situation in terms of the bar and COVID, you shouldn't be seeing it like the police taking side. You should be seeing what's happening for one bar happening in all the bars. And that will make us comfortable. But here what's happening now. For the longest while I've been saying, I hear Mr. Clark mention about people have gone and gained out information. I just want to suggest something to the police. Think about it. All the business people here or who here tonight, if you could, the names are there, you could take the phone number, lace with the people, you call them, what on the phone, or you're calling them one person at a time to give the police idea of what's happening in the district. If you come here where there's cameras and so, according to Mr. Clark, you will find outside people would say things and don't even want to support you in your business. So you need to have a relation where you could discuss things either on the phone or you're calling, well, Mr. Lindo, come in, and let's have a conversation. And based on the conversation, what about the month, with all with all the business people or the people that involved, then you could put all the info together and come up with a solution to solve the problem. So I still want to see something happen for the bar. We know COVID is real, or we don't know if the police may be happy because we just make a contribution to the police when they ask me, especially with Bamboo Patch, they know that. But I wonder now if with the COVID pressure we're going through, we know the restriction, but we, as a living, I hope that the police could help us, for us to come back in business because we're actually going out. Thanks very much, and you all have a blessed night.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Let me acknowledge our Assistant Commissioner of Police for Tobago and Eastern Division, ACP William Nurse. And I will just pause at this time probably to just ask him to say a few words. Oh, he says it's okay, so we'll continue. And again, he will speak at the end. Again, any other contribution? Anyone feel free to make your contributions? Anyone?
So good evening again. Because I am sitting here and people realize that I'm sitting here, I'm getting messages, so I'm asking the questions as they were sent to me. Someone wants to know, when will the station in Roxborough get vehicles or more vehicles? Because it seems like the answer to many calls is we don't have a vehicle to come out to the call. So if there's a response to that, that would be appreciated. Another comment that came in refers to the receipt books, because there seem to be a shortage of printed receipt books, and when people come in and make their reports, they want to have something to show that they've made the report and something that they can use to track the system, and that seems to not be in the stations at the moment. So those were the two things that came to me.
Thank you so very much. Just on the very first question, if I may, again, like the other divisions, we have to work with what we have. And again, this is something, again, in terms of when we will be having vehicles, I believe that would be something even probably, I would probably defer to the ACP. However, I want to say this much, that one of the things that we have done here in Tobago is to seek to be very resourceful in terms of our vehicles. Yes, At one time, we had a shortage, and right now, we are working to ensure that all our vehicles are up and running. At least every station should have at least a working vehicle. And until such time when vehicles are given out, all right, and it is given to the Tobago Division, we have to work with what we have. And so far, we are seeing, we have made a special effort to ensure that all our stations are outfitted with vehicles. And again, some of these vehicles, again, might be a bit outdated, but nevertheless, even though that is the case, we ensure that they are up and running, and when they are not, again, we try to fix them as fast as possible so that we can have the best possible outcome in terms of ensuring that we can respond to those situations. So that is as much as I want to say on those things. We have to work with what we have, and where we don't, we are going to be innovative enough to ensure that we respond to all the offenses, and it must not be that there is no vehicle. That cannot be the answer. We have to find a way to find vehicles and make sure that at least we respond to those offenses. And in terms of the receipt books, my understanding is that we have sought to have some receipt books. It was a problem at one time, but I think we are seeking to have those receipt books. We have some presently, and any station that does not have, we have at least called them to ensure that they have. So all stations, or at least the majority of stations at this point in time, should have receipt books, so that we should not have that as a complaint in relation to that. Okay. Anybody else? Please feel free to share.
Okay, a special good night. My name is Deborah Bonus, the owner of the Edge Restaurant and Bar. I sat down there and I listened to everyone. My contribution tonight is that, okay, the police is saying if anything happens in the area, to liaise with them and let them know certain things that is going on so that they could help us in the community. My thing is, sometimes simple. Example, an officer might pass through with his vehicle. He might just stop to check to find out what is going on. As he left, some in the community might feel that you are an informer. Sometimes the police not on anything, just to check to make sure everything is okay. And they see you as an informer. And as business people, we have to safeguard ourselves. Because once they see certain things going on, they start to target business or businesses and say, well, okay, the informant coming from the different businesses, right? And next thing I listened to, that Mr. Lindo said that you have the number and to call and whatever. Sometimes you call, but because everybody is closely related in the system, in different areas, you call. You don't know who you're speaking to, because I mightn't remember your badge number or whatever. You might have me on voice thing, and somebody next to you here, and is related to somebody in the community. No, that is a threat. So sometimes we have to, come up with some other means and ways of dealing with situations like this. And that is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for sharing.
Good afternoon. Thanks for your contribution. And one suggestion that I could make, I am sure that there are some, or there may be at least one police officer that you can trust, or you believe that you can trust. What you could try to do, if you feel that you may encounter some issue when you call the station, you could call that same police officer that you feel you trust. And I guess he will treat with your thing in a confidential way. I believe where we are now, in terms of how we treat with persons calling, because we are asking you to partner with us. And you mentioned that when the police pass, people think you are informers and so on. I know that at some stage you would know who are the persons who say informers. I'm saying there's the sergeant there, there's the inspector. You could seek an audience. It doesn't have to be for them to come to your business place. You could seek an audience anytime and deal with that person on a one-on-one. So at least you know exactly who the person that you're talking to. And this could alleviate that concern that you have in terms of fearing to give the police information. All right? I wouldn't want people to put themselves at risk. So you have to be discreet with how you're treating with information. All right? And I advise you, as I say, just treat with a police officer that you feel that you can trust, or you come and seek an audience with the person in charge directly, and they will treat with that in going forward. All right? That's just my advice.
All right. Good night, everybody. It bothers me to see where society has gone. The police can't even stop and talk to a business person. Well, I consider that to be unfortunate at best. I have worked in this district for many, many years. As a matter of fact, all my detective life before I left and went to homicide in the year 2000 was here. Most of my policing was here. And I can tell you, I clearly understand more than most the effect of the fear of crime. Criminals are so witty that what they do is that they put that fear in you so that the police can't even come to your business. I just go by Archie. And if I have my way, I'll visit every business place in Roxborough, because this is where I live. It's not that I couldn't live anywhere else. I chose to live here, and I will live here, and you will live here too. Now, let me just explain something to you. The police on one side and the citizens on the other. There's a crack in the wall, and that is where the criminals live. If you understand what I mean by a crack in the wall, it's a metaphor. What happens when there's a crack in your wall and mold begin to grow in it? The moment you decide that I'll clean that crack out and mend it, the mold disappears. You know who are the criminals? Roxborough, some little fella who dropped out from school somewhere about, and he put in fear in you. Well, let me tell you something. Until August, when I demit office, when I go on pre-retirement leave, I am still here. And there is no criminal in Roxborough anywhere in Tobago that I am afraid of. And if you want somebody to talk to, call my number now. All right? Call my number. And you are Judith Bonner's daughter?
Yeah, but
what are you talking about?
I'm not afraid of anyone.
Your family name in Argyle. Hold a minute. Your family name in Argyle puts fear in anybody. Yeah. They may come in wrong, Judith's daughter, and you must use those kinds of leverage to stand up and let criminals know that you are not going to cower. You're not going to duck and run. We have put some of the best police in Roxborough now. He has some little tardy and so on, but we have carefully selected the best to be in Roxborough. And you don't let nobody tell you the police can't come by your business place. Nonsense. And then we have an inspector in Scarborough named Miss Piggott. You know she? You ever met Miss Piggott? You know her number? Get her number. Call the inspector CID. She's the inspector in charge of crime in Tobago. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow I head to Trinidad, and I'll spend the week there. That will close off some of the major investigations that I was responsible for while I was there. The point I'm making is, we have good police right here. You understand? Don't let nobody tell you, no little fella from Boston Street and from Prince Street up the hill who can't even read and write, to tell you that the police can't come and look for you. Listen. Let me deal with them. There's a way to deal with them.
May I just add to that by saying, what you're going to be seeing is a consistent behavior where police officers, we are telling them now, the time for doing patrols with your windows up, stop. You need to stop and engage different business places. So it's not just you. So it's not like, okay, well, they're coming to you alone, so people say, hey, that is the informant. It had to be, all of them had to be informant, because every single business is important. And they have to stop at every single business and ensure that there is that engagement. So it is not going to be one particular business alone. It is everybody is going to be treated the same way. So therefore, there is going to be consistency in terms of the operation of the police. And therefore, I am saying it is no way that they can say you are informant, because it is going to be across the board. All right? So again, just to give you that, and it is not going to be one time. It is going to be a general practice. This is how we want to start to do policing. That is going to make a difference in our community, that community-oriented policing. All right? So I'm just saying, I believe that as well is going to help in dealing with that situation. Okay? Again, we want to make sure that anybody else have any. All right, there are some questions I'm hearing. Of course, there.
So before you answer, let me just ask you a question so they could hear it on Tobago Updates. All right, so one of the questions is, police diary supposed to be destroyed, and when is a crime not a crime anymore?
Let me, at present, the police service is reviewing its standing orders. And we have just completed the review of some of those standing orders, including the standing order that deals with station diaries. And in our proposal to the commissioner, this might be letting the cat out the bag, so you know before the commissioner. We have recommended that station diaries not be destroyed at all. We have recommended that. Right? In respect of that receipt book that you get at the station, and I want to tell all police officers, if there is no receipt book, what does it take from you? To take a sheet of paper, fold it in two, and tell the person, write out the name of the person who made the report, what is the nature of the report, where in the station diary that can be, stamp it, and give it to the person. Good God, what does it take? It doesn't take much. And I am going to give directives, direction, instructions, that when there is no station diary, when there is no receipt, that we prepare a handmade receipt for members of the public. Okay? Good? Thank you. Well, a crime is always a crime, you know. You can't uncommit a crime. So when a fella commits a crime and he walks away, and he tells himself, well, you can't catch me. Well, you make a mistake, you know, because you're leaving a trail behind. There are some offenses that will cease to exist. And those are the summary offenses. The summary offenses have a statutory limitation of 6 months. And larceny, thieving, as we just call it in Tobago now, in Tobago parlance, thieving, under the Larceny Act, under the value of $2,000, will cease to become a crime after 1 year. However, larceny of 1 cent can still be brought to the court under Section 4, Chapter 1112, which is an indictable section. And I'll give you one example that I have. I remember there was a gentleman by the name of John Slocum from England. He was robbed of 5 cents at the Kings Bay waterfall. I charged that person for robbery of 5 cents. You know what was the effect of that? That same person who was charged with robbery committed a murder and left his fingerprint on the scene. So I have a zero tolerance approach to crime. No matter how small it is, you commit a crime, larceny, robbery of 5 cents. John Slocum, he called me from England some time ago, and we were talking, and he remembered that I charged that man for robbery of 5 cents. Thank you.
So persons are complaining online that offenses that were done to them, they're not getting no results, and a lot of the police officers are giving them a lot of runaround. Is there any place that they can go or anybody that they could talk to concerning those cases or those situations?
We want to let persons understand, if for some reason and you have a offense that took place in a station, you can go. If you believe that you're not getting the necessary traction, you can go and speak to the inspector. All right? Every single inspector in the Tobago division, we have what we call an open door policy, where persons can feel free to come and speak to the inspector if you believe that you're not getting, as I said, that kind of service that you expect. And we are also saying, if that doesn't work, any one of us on this table, as First Division officers, we are here to ensure that the police service give quality service, high quality service, which is part and parcel of our mission statement. And we want to ensure that that is done. So please, you can get in contact with us. You can call us, let us know, we will deal with that. I want to throw out there as well, it's important because, again, I don't think that there is another organization that is police more than the police service. There's so many different places that you could go if you believe that the police has done you wrong or anything like that. And I'm telling you that within the police service, if you believe that something was done and you believe this was wrong, I am saying there's the police complaints division, and there's an office there in the Compoint Police Station that you can go and make a complaint if you believe that a police officer has done something that is in breach of the police regulations. Make a complaint, and we are saying that it is going to be investigated thoroughly, because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that the police service remain a place where there is a level of integrity in the things that we do and the way we uphold the law. So please keep those things in mind.
Since that we're not plenty, I might have to make 2 or 3 contributions. Again, Ellis Anthony Clark, schoolmate, Mr. the ACP acting thing. We play cricket together, we do all kind of things together. But anyway, my thing that I want to see now, we have a spanking new police station. We have plenty different police in this country, whether it be detective, task force thing. I want to see one day that this Roxborough station have every police group they have in Tobago, we must have some of them in Roxborough. And for sure, that parking with so much parking and so much space with 1 police drip or 2, that's not acceptable. Say Ellis Clark say that, the mayor of Roxborough say that, listen to me, we're not accepting that 1 drip go on tongue and we can't get no police because we can't accept that. This is time that we should have more than 1, at least about 5 or 6 in the area here. We need that. We need to know that when I call, if the normal police said it, CID might run out and come out and think we can't wait. Another thing, the people and them who take pictures, the photographers. We had to wait 3 and 4 days. An accident take place by Hollis there. They would have Chuck. 2 days after, they come to take them pictures. Chuck gone. Well, me don't know where they take. Chuck gone, car gone. But they come up and block off the road and play tantos. What they taking out? We need to know that a phone call over there and the photographer run from the one time on the scene where they're reaching everything. They're reaching the truck there, they're reaching everything and the thing. So we need, Mr. Assistant Commissioner, you need in your few months to stand up, because I know you have belly. Stand up and look for things for this police station for me, please. And if your letters always come by me, you could call me in your office and we'll discuss further.
Thank you for your contribution.
Let me just set something straight for you. There are times we visited murder scenes long after the body was removed. Sometimes we visit rape scene long after the people were gone. Likewise, road traffic accidents, sometimes the scenes are visited and photographed after. So don't make any trouble of that. Those matters are inconsequential. There's no need to worry over that. The police know what they are looking for. And let me just tell you something. Eh? For the first time in the history of Tobago, let me repeat that. For the first time in the history of Tobago, the Assistant Commissioner, the Senior Superintendent, and the Superintendent are all 3 Tobagonians and 3 attorneys at law. So we know, we are conversant, right? Mr. Kirk and I grew up in the homicide. So we are quite aware. So sometimes you need to give us some leverage to do what we have to. In terms of the number of vehicles per station, I will agree with you, Mr. Clark. But you know, demand and supply, we never get all the things we want. And I will, as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm meeting with the commissioner in Trinidad, and Tobago there has been some neglect, and I will make no apologies for that. It reminds me of the welcome address to the Queen of England by Mr. Robinson in 1985 November when she came to Tobago. His words to her were, "Your Majesty, I welcome you to this sometimes remote and forgotten community. Tobago is indeed remote and sometimes unfortunately forgotten." Now, there is no harm that will come to me after now, because by August, I don't want another day in the establishment. After 40 years, I can safely ride off into the sunset, and I know exactly what I will be doing after I demit office. But it is to give to Tobago and the police in Tobago, the citizenry of Tobago, the quality policing service that they so richly deserve. All right? So I'm going to try my best to see if I can get more vehicles to Roxborough, Archie. And I think Roxborough is really the subdivisional headquarters. And it is better than Scarborough, so they should move the headquarters to Roxborough. But those are things in our contemplation. Your input tonight is invaluable in that it will guide policy decisions. And let us see what happens, right? But bear with us. The police is your friend. And you remember that man you lock up in your shop. What do you do with him?
They're not charged him.
They charge him?
Why the police move and the case move, that doesn't always happen.
All right.
You know, if you want me to give him up, they go and sing with us.
Just to endorse and add on what Mr. Nurse had just indicated. You made mention in your contribution that you want to see Roxborough Station have a unit from all the different sections of the TTPS. Well, Roxborough is one of the fortunate stations I could say, because we have sexual offences unit, gender-based, all these new units are at Roxborough Station, so it's a work in progress. I believe the powers that be would see the need for these units in the community, so I think in going forward in the future, your wish will be granted.
Commonly asked questions, and I like to answer questions.
So not really a question, but a suggestion from the comments were if they can digitalize the receipt books. All right, so that when you go to the station, you could give them your phone number or something, and a WhatsApp message with the receipt will come instead of them having it physically. All right, so Mr. Nurse, when you go down China tomorrow, if you could make that suggestion.
Oh. Yeah, we want to thank that person for that idea. I think that's a very good idea. We would follow up on that. Well, it means that I think we're probably doing a tremendous job, sir. And
I see Mr. Devines here. Has he spoken already? Mr. Devines? Wilfred? Yes. Right, that's fine. Not yet.
So again, not a question, but persons in Goldsboro are complaining that they're not getting enough patrols and patrons are coming up and destroying their crops. Right. I know the vehicle is an issue, but if you could get some patrols in that area, that would be greatly appreciated for them.
Well, I am very glad that I wanted Mr. Watson Duke. We invited him here. Unfortunately, he's not. And I have no doubt there's a good reason for his absence. Let me, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and as well the Tobago House of Assembly, has earmarked agriculture as one of the product type that will be favored going forward. A country that feeds itself is in a good place. And we know that predial larceny is a troubling issue. As a matter of fact, I have sought a meeting with the Tobago House of Assembly, and one of the things we intend to advance to the executive of the Tobago House of Assembly is the development of a predial larceny unit within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, but that unit will be given to the Tobago House of Assembly, so they will be attached to the Tobago House of Assembly, and so the areas where we have the most trouble will be the areas of focus. So that is coming. That is one of the things I want to discuss. I have let it out, but the police are aware of some of the troubles that people have in terms of, especially with livestock. I remember some years ago there was a fellow from Belgrade named Kiddy Man. Kiddy Man stole a goat, and he walking down the road with the goat. And everybody he meet, he said, look your size, eh? The amount of potato you eat, even if me carry you by the pound in our world, he's thief the goat, you know? And he's indicating to people that he's carrying it to the pound. But we know there are some common goat thieves and animal thieves and so on. But give us some time, and Madam Assemblywoman, we are going to collaborate with the Tobago House of Assembly in a very meaningful way to see how best we can bring some relief to the suffering farmers. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner of Police. If there are no other persons to state their concerns, stakeholders, members of the public, I would like to thank you for stating your concerns. All your concerns have been documented, and we will deal with them in a timely fashion. I now invite the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. William Nurse, to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, thank you. That lady has a radio voice. Is she a police officer? Ladies and gentlemen, as my good friend Mr. James Filbert normally says, policing has a soul. And it is what you feed that soul with that makes it grow in the direction and in the way you want it to. Police officers must never see themselves as the boss, but as the servant of the people. And I encourage every policeman to read the Bible, Mark the 10th chapter, verse 35 on to 43, coming down towards the end. Jesus said to his disciples, "Know ye that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship upon them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you. Whosoever of you shall be great, let him be your minister. And whosoever of you shall be chiefest shall be servant of all." All these officers here are my children. And if they could do it, every one of them, I should be able to do it too. So if they go on patrol, William Nurse should be able to go on patrol too. If they go up the hill, William Nurse should be able to go up the hill too. And that is the kind of commitment we want to give to you in this area. I am not the type of police officer who asks people to come on board with me, to give me your information. I put you in the position where you feel compelled to do that. You give me your report and I will investigate it to the hilt. And whatever it takes, I give it. And when you are satisfied, then you are convinced by the actions of the police that the best thing for me to do is to join. It is no longer the choice between collaborating or not collaborating. It is either you collaborate or you non-exist. And if I were to take a quote from Martin Luther King, we must all learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Let me tell you some of the things that I've seen in the last few months. We have seen a type of criminal activity in Tobago that is alarming. And gun violence have increased. But you know, the police are on the pulse. The police are on the job. So we have information that grandchildren and relatives of persons from Tobago who have absented themselves for eons from Tobago, their grandchildren are now coming home to seek the lands of their great-grandparents. And you know something? They bring with them that attitude of what you have is mine and what I have is mine. So they will rob you, they will shoot you, and they come with their guns. Well, we have already identified those persons, and I can tell you with fear of no contradiction that your police have arrested them and put them before the court, and we find long gun, you know long gun, rifle, we find it. We find ammunition and we lock them up. Tobago at this stage has 2 murders. 2. And every one has been solved, you know. 100% solve rate. You know why is that? Because there is a level of commitment from the very top to the very least to ensure that you get quality policing service. And from that, we will deviate not even one fraction of an inch. We are not afraid. The children must be able to go to school and study. The teachers must be able to go to school and teach. The businessman must be able to go to his business place and make money. That way it does do. And I did some economics at O and A level, so I understand that investment equals profit. And that is what you does make as businessmen. When you are employed as a teacher, you get wages and miss bonus. You understand what I'm saying? And there is no group of people or persons in Tobago that must be able to destroy your business by their criminal activities. We are not going to allow it. As a matter of fact, as long as I sit as assistant commissioner, well, that is vexed with me, you know, because I call in here every day. Mr. Benjamin Massey is vexed with me, but he's my good friend. And what we have at the top is a kind of unison that tells the Tobago public that we are together. A kind of marriage that when one speaks, we speak with one voice. And ladies and gentlemen, if you feel that is good enough for you, then you buy in. But in the meantime, we are going to carry on and serve you, because that is what we are here for. Right? Service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on earth. And we are going to serve you, serve you, serve you, and serve you until I will serve you until August. The others will carry on after me. Right? But I want to thank you all for the opportunity to serve. I may not come back to Roxborough for a next town meeting, but I want to thank you. Roxborough is a place where I have enjoyed my policing. I have made good friends, I have made some enemies and so on. But one of the remarkable things that I remember is that when I left to go to homicide in the year 2000, after I went, a lady called me and she said, Mr. Nurse, thank you very much. And now see what I was trying to do. Ladies and gentlemen, police work is not easy. We make friends, we lose enemies, we will lose friends. But at the end of the day, it is the citizenry that matters. Your interests, your well-being, and so on. So I thank you very much for coming out. I give you the commitment today. I don't normally give undertakings, but I will tonight. If you make a report in any station in Tobago, any station, and you're not getting the result that you deserve or you desire, come to me. You don't even have to make an appointment. Just walk in, and you'll get results. All right? There is no inquiry too big. As a matter of fact, 14 bodies came in a boat down in Belgarden Bay. And we dealt with that until Turks and Caicos was calling us to give them guidance as how to deal with it. We were called to Brasilia to explain how we did that investigation. A lady from the Associated Press left Spain and came right here to Tobago to interview us. You know what is the result of that? They have found that we have made connections of the people, some of the people who were in that boat. And that is what your police are doing for you. So I thank you for the opportunity to serve. I thank you for coming out, and may God richly bless you as we in our forward march. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the executive, all the executive of the Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I now invite Woman Inspector Guy to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening. I am number 16050, Woman Police, Acting Inspector Susan Guy, with the responsibilities of Area East of the Tobago Police Division, which comprises of the Roxborough Police Station and the Charlottesville Police Station. At this juncture, let me just recognize Dr. Faith B. Israel, who with responsibilities for the Secretary for Health, Wellness, and Social Protection. I also recognize our executive, Mr. Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. William Nurse, our Senior Superintendent, Mr. Junior Benjamin, our Superintendent of Tobago Division, Mr. Rodel Kerr, and our Assistant Superintendent, Tobago West, Mr. Mark Joseph. I deem it a great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks to all assembled here today. At this, our first stakeholders meeting, I want to graciously thank all invited stakeholders for taking the time from their busy schedule and being most present here today. A special thank you is extended to the principal and members of staff of the Roxborough Police Secondary School for allowing the Roxborough Police Station to hold its stakeholders meeting at this venue. To the team who contributed for their time and effort for making this stakeholders meeting a tremendous success, I say thank you. It is quite evident that the Tobago Division Executive has embraced the community partnership within the communities throughout Tobago by ensuring that platforms like these are implemented for you, the members of the community, to have access, share your concern, and have them dealt with timely. However, we, the management of the Roxborough Police Station, is looking forward to working in collaboration with you, because we, the police, does not have all the answers. We are depending on you for your solution, your ideas, your perspectives on situation within the communities. As mentioned by the moderator, Sergeant Catterson, all concerns were documented, and we are committed to ensure that it is followed up timely and your concern dealt with, thus ensuring your quality of life is enhanced as we create a safe space for you, the members of the public, to traverse and operate daily. I just want to reiterate, as my goodly superintendent, Mr. Rodel Kerr, as he celebrates his birthday today, I want to reiterate his words, right? As Dr. Peel, Sir Robert Peel mentioned, the people are the police and the police are the people. So we are depending on you all. And just a reminder that the Roxborough Police Station will be hosting its first station council meeting every last Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the Roxborough Police Station. But I'm not seeing anybody writing, so I expect you all to write. I repeat, the Roxborough Police Station will be hosting its first station council meeting every last Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the Roxborough Police Station. I say thank you, and please be safe and get home safely. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Inspector Guy. As we began, I would like us to close. WPC James would take us home with the closing prayer.
Father, we ask that you continue guiding us Good night, everyone.